Good day, everyone. I am Mary Grace Pakatang, and today I will be presenting my topic entitled Microteaching and Presentation of Developed Materials. So, microteaching is an important part of teacher education because it provides us with an opportunity to practice our teaching skills before facing an actual classroom. So, through this presentation, we will discuss effective mathematics teaching strategies, the importance of instructional materials, and how feedback helps us improve our teaching. So, at the end of this presentation, we are expected to achieve three learning objectives. First, demonstrate effective mathematics teaching strategies, then present develop instructional materials confidently, and reflect on strengths and areas for improvement. So these objectives emphasize that effective teaching is not only about delivering content, but also about continuous improvement. So what is micro teaching? Micro teaching is a scaled down teaching exercise that allows teachers to practice teaching skills, receive constructive feedback, improve instructional techniques, and build teaching confidence. So, micro teaching is a teacher training technique where a teacher delivers a short lesson to a small group of learners. So, unlike regular classroom teaching, it focuses on practicing one or more specific teaching skills. So, it usually lasts between 5 to 15 minutes and is followed by constructive feedback. So, composed of a small group of learners and focuses on one teaching skills. So its main purpose is to help teachers improve their instructional practices in a supportive learning environment. So micro teaching offers many benefits to teachers. It builds confidence because teachers become more comfortable speaking in front of learners. It improves communication and questioning techniques. It also enhances classroom management skills and increase instructional effectiveness. Then it encourages reflective practice because teachers receive feedback that helps them identify both strengths and the areas for improvement. Effective mathematics teaching requires the use of learner centered strategies. So, one strategy is inquiry based learning, where students discover mathematical concepts through investigation. So, another is a problem based learning, where students solve real life problems using mathematics. We also have collaborative learning that encourages teamwork and communication. So we also have think, pair, share that allows students to think independently before discussing ideas with classmates. Then we have differentiated instruction that addresses the different learning needs and abilities of the students. Let us look at one example. We have think, pair, and share. So suppose our lesson is solving linear equations. So first, students solve the problem individually. The next, they discuss their solutions with a partner. Then finally, they share their answers with the entire class. So this strategy develops critical thinking, communication skills, and confidence while encouraging active participation. So, instructional materials play an important role in enhancing learning. Some examples include PowerPoint presentations, worksheets, flashcards, manipulatives, GeoGebra activities, and we have assessment rubrics. So these materials makes lessons more engaging, interactive, and easier for students to understand. So the choice of instructional materials should always support the learning objectives and the needs of the learners. Here is an example of a micro teaching lesson. So the topic is solving linear equation. Learning competency, we have solve one variable linear equations. Material used, we have PowerPoint, whiteboard, flashcards, and activity sheets. So we use teaching strategy, collaborative learning, then assessment. The lessons begin with motivation. It followed by concept development using PowerPoints and examples. So students then work collaboratively to solve problems before completing an exit ticket as a formative assessment. So this sequence promotes active learning and allows the teacher to assess student understanding immediately. So the micro teaching process follows several important steps. First is the introduction to capture learners' attention. Second, we have motivation to connect prior knowledge. Third is lesson presentation. Fourth, we have guided practice where the teacher provides assistance. Fifth is independent practice. Sixth is assessment. And then the reflections that allows both the teacher and learners to evaluate the learning process or experiences. So when presenting developed instructional materials, we should clearly explain their purpose. So discuss the learning objectives, identify the target learners, demonstrate how the materials will be used, and explain how learning will be assessed. So a good instructional materials should be clear, engaging, accurate, and aligned with the curriculum standards. Feedback is an essential component of professional growth. So constructive feedback focuses on the lesson objectives, content accuracy, teaching strategies, communication, then classroom interaction and the time management, and also the use of instructional materials. So instead of viewing feedback as criticism, teachers should see it as an opportunity to improve their instructional practices. So reflections allow teachers to evaluate their own teaching performance. So lesson or after every lesson, we should ask ourselves several questions. So, what went well? What challenges did I encounter? Did my students achieve the learning objectives? What can I improve in my next lesson? Reflective practice helps teachers become lifelong learners. So we have here the best practices. We have know your learners, plan carefully, use engaging activities, we have encouraged participation, asked higher order questions, integrate technology, and reflect continuously. To conclude, micro-teaching provides a valuable opportunities for teachers to practice, receive feedback, and continuously improve their teaching. So, effective mathematics instruction depends not only on the mastery of content, but also on the appropriate use of teaching strategies, instructional materials, and reflective practice. So, as a future mathematics educator, we should always strive for continuous professional growth because effective teaching leads to meaningful student learning. So, as the saying says, great teachers are not born, they continuously improve through practice and reflections. So, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you, and God bless everyone.